When I said yes to this, I was in transition. I was on maternity leave, and what was missing was, for me, a sense of my life aligning with my values. So I didn't want to go back to teaching like 8 till 5 or however long it took me. It was like I was actually missing that sense of doing something that lit me up, that allowed me to have the lifestyle that I wanted. Because I get to help people, and I love helping people, and I get to see people grow and learn that who they are is enough, and that they get to live that life that they've always dreamed of, that they were always terrified to live because they were doing what they thought they were supposed to do. Well, I'm a completely different person from when I started. I'm still learning, but I'm finally able to be myself and feel accepted. So before, I used to cry sometimes before I went to work because I hated it so much. But I thought it was what I had to do because I went to uni for 5 years so that I could become a teacher. And I loved the kids, but I died a little bit inside each day before I went to school because it just didn't feel right. It wasn't what I needed anymore. And realizing that I had everything in me that I needed to do this business, to be myself and be accepted for that, is massive for me. You know, I can now speak to people authentically and not feel like I have to be a certain person to be accepted. I can be me. And I've learned that I'm good enough to do what I want to do. So I've never actually felt safe within a group of girls. I have always felt like a bit of an outsider, and I've always felt like, I don't know, I guess it's just maybe from high school or even primary school, I've never really quite felt safe with girls. And in this sisterhood that we have, I actually feel loved and accepted for who I am, and I feel like I'm supported, and I feel like I have women who I can call on and who I want to call on to see how they're going. And it's really beautiful to have people doing the same thing as me, but there's no competition. Like, we are all there basically holding each other's hands, running in a field of sunflowers, but not really, if you know what I mean. It's really cool. And also, we can be real with each other too. So we can call each other out on our own stuff. It's not just all sunshines and roses, but it's growth in a safe community, which is beautiful. It's kind of funny because I never really thought that I would be a person to have a business, because I was obviously in a safe government job. My mum was a teacher. My dad had a very safe job, and they are not really entrepreneurial. Like, there's no one in my family who is entrepreneurial at all. And so obviously I had a lot of stories around that, not being a businesswoman and not being good enough to obviously run a business. But it's really surprising that I can. And obviously I've got a lot of support, which is the most beautiful thing. And I think without that support and that that encouragement and all the resources and everything, like, I would never have been able to do what I'm doing. So yeah, it's been like a welcome surprise that I actually run a business. So to someone questioning this, I would say there's nothing that can hurt you by trying. Like, I know I asked a million questions before I started, and I totally get that, because that's where I was. I was like so skeptical. But in hindsight, looking back, like, there's nothing stopping you. There was nothing stopping me from just starting and seeing what it was like, because, you know, it's nothing. It's nothing to start. And the opportunities that are there, like the infinite potential that this business offers us, is incredible. And if you don't like it, you can stop. Like, there's nothing holding you here. So yeah, I'm just really so grateful that I get to spend every day with my kids, even though sometimes being a mum and being with your kids all the time can be challenging in itself. I never ever wanted to be a mum who missed out on things. I always wanted to be there for the first steps, for their birthdays, all of their birthdays. And I'm just so grateful that I get to do that, because that family is one of my highest values. So for me to be able to spend that quality time with my kids is just, yeah, it lights up my soul being with my family. So I'll be forever grateful for that.